Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name is Reavyne and welcome back to my channel. Now, last night there was another Warriors Den live stream, and this one's going to be both a recap of that and a Ravens ramble at the same time, because there was the state of balance for last season where Hirakiri dropped. And this is an issue that keeps popping up time and time again. I've talked about this for a good year now, and it's something that we need to discuss later on, and it's a really big thing for the future of the game, especially in terms of balance and what's happening within the community. But before we get into that, let's jump into the news, shall we? Because there is a fair bit of cool shit that we got. So up first is the Executioner's Challenge. Now, be the faction with the most executions performed and you will win some rewards. Now, this goes from the 16th of August until the 19th of August. So you got the weekend to get this thing done. And then after that, we have the Extra XP Fest. Now, I fucking love it when these things rock around, especially because it's really good to level up new characters like Jormungandr. So basically, XP is doubled on completed orders and contracts at the end of every single match. And this is going from the 16th of August until the 19th of August, once again, pretty much like the weekend. So if you want to rep someone up, jump in and smash it out while it's here. And then, of course, we have the weekly arcade quest. Now, this thing's called the Giants of Hirima. You guys are really weird with your Scandinavian words, like goddamn. But basically, it's the weekly arcade quest, and you have to own Marching Fire in order to play this thing, or know someone who owns it, play with them, and you get access to it. This is going from the 15th of August until the 22nd of August. So some more PvE content for those of you who like that. And next up, there is a champion status sale. So basically, it's 50% off champion status until the 22nd of August. So that thing's closing up soon. But yeah, if you want champion status, feel free to pick it up while it's on sale. May as well. And then we have the content of the week, and this is finally something that's really fucking cool. Now, this thing is 5,000 steel. I had some people send this to me early as a leak, but I just didn't get around to making a video about it because I ran out of time. But now it's in the game, which is pretty freaking cool. So yeah, effectively, it's glowing eyes. So you get like these big, you know, whenever they do those like memes and they have the Japanese guys, it's like Nani doing whatever, and their eyes are woo glowing and shit. That's basically what this is. It's in game now, so that's going to make all the meme lovers very happy. And this thing's going to be playing in the background. It's actually worth 5k steel. This thing is actually pretty dope. And that's all the news done. So now we're going to get into the state of balance. Now, this is a very big one because there was a lot of stuff here, and it's, like I said, something I've been talking about for like the last year heavily. And it has to do with the community versus the pros versus the devs versus the data. Now, this has been a massive issue that we've all been facing. Now, the reason why this is a massive issue is because you have a whole bunch of sides here that are just not communicating. And when you have all these entities not communicating together, that's basically the reason why this game's in such a fucking mess balance-wise, and it's why it sort of seems like it doesn't really have that much of a direction to most people. I get so many comments from people saying that they just wish the game was balanced, why the fuck do the devs make the decisions they make, what is going on, so on and so forth. And every single time we get a state of balance, it pretty much shows us why. Now, we're going to get into this. We're going to start off with Duel. Now, I'm not going to read out every single one of these, but we're going to look at the important stuff. So, remember, this is Year 3, Season 2, so when Hirakiri launched last season, we're now in the year of the Jormungandr Season 3, so this is last season. They do, like, you know, the previous one every season. Now, this is Duel full population, so this is basically everybody. And over here, you can see at the top, we have Raider, who is first. Now, this is when Raider first got his buff. Of course, he was absolutely fucked. He still is a bit of a pain in the ass after receiving some nerfs, though. You know, at least they dragged him down a bit. This was at his height. So Raider here is at the top. No one's fucking questioning that because it's fucking Raider. Then, of course, you have Hirakiri. She launched, and Hirakiri is very strong. So she's going to be there. Shigoki as well, which is really good. And those are the top 3 there. As you can see as well, I want to make a note. All the Wu Lin are still middle and above, right? Especially Grandpa, who's all the way up there. And then you have Black Prior as well, who's also really strong. But if you look down at the bottom, what do we have? We have Warden at the very bottom, Peacekeeper and Nabushi. Alright, but Warden's at the bottom with 43% overall win rate. Now, that is terrible for Warden. But this is full population, so people can say, well, it's full population, takes into account everyone. Some people are shit, that's why, you know, this is the case. But Okay, that's fair enough. That could be a valid argument. Let's look at the pros. So now we're looking at the dual win-loss matrix from platinum rank and above. Okay, so these are the people who are really good at the game. They're not like the tippity top pros, but we'll get to them in a minute. We're talking about people who are platinum above. They're considered good, really good at the game, depending on how high you go. So once again, the top doesn't really change, just the order a little bit. Raiders up the top, of course he is, Shigoki, and then Hitakiri. So basically, Shigoki and Hitakiri just trade spots. Everyone else, Lawbringer's still there, Youngjung's still there, Black Prior, Conqueror, Valkyrie, Nuxia, Tiandi, Shaolin drops a couple of spots. And that's actually really weird, considering Shaolin drops a few spots, yet friggin' Shinobi and Aramusha go above that. Okay, but yeah, Shaolin drops a little bit. But if you go all the way down the bottom, Warden's no longer there at the very bottom, okay? Gladiator is. Rip for Gladiator, rip for Centurion, Peacekeeper's still there. But Warden is, he's now what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's now 6 from the bottom, and even with the platinum rank and above, so these are guys who are supposed to be really, really good, he has a 44% overall win rate. He had a 43% overall win rate with the full population. So he's gained a whole 1% of win rate. But he is still heavily down the bottom. Sucks to be Warden. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all this up, and this is going to lead into the ramble, because we're going to have a look now at the pros tier list. So the pros of the game, the best of the best, the guys who are just like, we're top dog at this game, and rightfully so, because they are really top dog at this game. They tend to write their own tier lists, and these are the ones that they use based on tournaments and stuff that they're playing amongst each other. And here, with the pros dual win-loss matrix tier list, whatever you want to call it, right? The pros here say that Warden is S tier. So he's the best of the best, up there with everyone else who's in S tier. Warden was at the bottom for the full pop, and he was sort of at the bottom, remember 6 from the bottom, on the platinum and above, so people who are really good at the game. But according to the pros, he is S tier, so he's right up the top, he's one of the best. That is a massive, massive disconnect and an issue, because this is a massive problem that we're seeing between what the pros are saying, what the data's saying, and what the rest of the majority of the population is actually dealing with. And that's the thing I want to harp on the most here. It is a massive disconnect between the majority of people, right? This is full population and freaking plat and above are still completely disconnected from what the professionals, who are like a very, 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 very minority amount of people at the top, from what they're saying. And it is a little insane that there is this much of a gulf between what the pros are saying and what everyone else is saying. Now, there is a reason for it. The reason why the pros can say this is because these characters in the hands of certain professional players who are really good at the game, they can do shit no one else can do. That's why certain heroes are like this. But the thing is, you gotta balance the game for the majority of players. You got to balance the game for everyone, because all you end up doing is balancing the game for 30 people at the top, and then everyone else just gets to go fuck themselves. Because that's essentially what's happening here. If the developers were to go off of their tier list, they would basically just, keep Warden exact same, because Warden is S tier to these professionals. But to everyone else, the data clearly shows that Warden's at the fucking very bottom. He's 6 from the bottom. He's shit. So Warden needs a buff. And that is the biggest issue the developers are facing. They have this massive push-pull between what the professionals and the really good players at the game can do, and then what everyone else can do. And it's been obvious for a while now that what the pros can do is obviously way more than what everyone else can do. And then you have to pick who you're going to balance the game for. I've said this a million times already. You're going to balance it for the small amount of people at the top, or you're going to balance it for everyone else. They have to make a choice, and they have to actually say what they're doing and go with that direction, because otherwise everyone that's not in this professional little scene is going to end up getting frustrated and leave, like I see them doing all the time. Like I see people saying the game isn't balanced because of XYZ reasons. And it's a pain in the ass to keep reading this stuff, because I understand where these people are coming from, because I can clearly see the disconnect here. And even the developers themselves, they sort of were a bit hesitant. You could hear in their voices and stuff. They don't really know why there is such a disconnect between, the rest of the community and the pro players. Because if they listen to the pro players, Warden's completely fine. He's S tier. He's top fucking notch. So if they go, okay, Warden's completely fine, we don't need to do anything to him. Then they get the data back, and before you know it, Warden's at the very, very bottom. And they're like, well, fuck, right? What is going wrong between these things? And this massive gap between the two continues even further, because now we're going to look at Dominion. Now, when you look at Dominion, overall, Raider's at the very top. Of course he is. Aramusha is second. Now this has been a trend lately. Aramusha doing really, really well in 4v4s. Sweet. And Grandpa is, fourth. Hitakiri is fifth. If you go down the very bottom, Gladiator, Peacekeeper, and Shinobi are at the bottom. That's been a thing for a while now. But this is overall population, right? And then in the top 4% of players in Dominion, once again, Aramusha is first, Raider is second, Jiangjun is third. So we just see a few spots changing here. And down the bottom, Peacekeeper, Gladiator, and Orochi are at the bottom. But there is one special gorgeous lady I want you to keep in mind here, because this is going to once again prove this massive disconnect, and that is Little Miss Nobushi, our lovely Japanese girl. So in overall population for 4v4 Dominion, she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the bottom. And in the top 4% of Dominion, she is basically just one above mid, right? So she's in the middle of the pack. She's not top tier. She's nowhere near top tier. She's down near the middle, according to the data that the developers have from last season. But now we're going to have a look at the pro players and what their tier list says. And once again, there is a massive disconnect, because if you look at the pro players, Nobushi in Dominion is S+ tier. She is not only S tier, which is powerful, she is S+ tier right at the top where it says needs nerfs. Yet with the full population, she's near the bottom. With top 4% of players, she's in the middle. And yet with the pros, she is literally at the top and needs nerfs, above the top, right? And Clarissa said on stream, don't know if she was meant to say it or not, but she actually said on stream that, they saw that this was the case and that the pro players were saying that she's like, Nobushi is S tier and needs nerfs. That's why they nerfed her. Because when the nerf hit for Nobushi, everyone I saw was like, what? Why? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Why are you nerfing Nobushi? We all need her buffed. That's why us as the majority of the community and everyone I saw was saying, hey, buff her, was because she's near the bottom, or she's also near the middle, depending if you're top 4%, but she's not doing well. She needed buffs. But according to the pros, which the developers seem to be listening to, she just needed nerfs all over the place. And guess what they did? They nerfed her. And remember how Shinobi got completely fucking ground into the ground? He's fucking S tier here according to the pros. Yet, once again, in overall, he's right down the bottom, third from the bottom. In top 4%, he's in the middle of the pack again. So there is this massive, massive disconnect. And one of the biggest disconnects of all, I think we can safely say here. The pros have Aramusha in 4s as C tier. Okay? C tier. Basically dog shit, alright? And then if you look at the overall win percentage, for Dominion, he is second overall population and he is first top 4%. According to them, he's down the bottom, but the Nobushi's at the top. The whole thing is just fucked. It is completely all over the place and it's just getting ridiculous now. Now, I'll say this once again because I know some people are going to pick on this. Of course, different characters will play way better and way differently in a tier list when the pro players are playing them. I'm not disputing that fact. They're pros for a reason, because they're fucking good. And the reason why they are fucking good is because they've taken time to learn every single thing about the game, all the little tricks, all the little everything, and they've just practiced, played, and they're just genuinely good at the game. Not taking anything away from that. But the biggest fucking issue right now when it comes to balance is just the pure and simple fact that the pros are a small minority. Everyone else needs to be catered for. And I know that's going to piss off a lot of people, and it has been pissing off a lot of people who are at the top who are pros. I fully understand that, and I understand why they get pissed off at that, because I'm basically saying, fuck those guys, do it for everyone else, right? I'm saying cater to the majority so that way they're all happy and then the pros are going to get pissed. But the game can't keep going like this. You can't go say that Nobushi is S+ tier and that she needs nerfs, all right, as the pros, because yeah, she might when you're a pro, but for fucking 90% of everyone else, she doesn't. She clearly needs a buff. And yet the developers are going to listen to them and they're going to nerf her, and then the rest of us are just sitting here scratching our heads like, what the fuck just happened? This is an issue that the developers need to address, and they need to address it and tell us all what they're doing. If they're going to listen to the pros, That's fine. Just tell us so we all know what the fuck's going on. But if I was in charge, I would be catering towards the majority of people, because guess what? Without the majority of players playing your game, buying steel, actively participating, the servers start to die because there's less players to match up with people. There's less people spending money. The developers, they start getting, you know, their resources cut because the game's not making money, and then eventually the whole thing gets cut. You can't make a game and let it survive and run for a small minority of players. That's just not how it works. That's just not what business is. You're not selling fucking Lamborghinis here where you only have to sell 4 a year to fucking make, you know, over $1 million. You're selling a game where you need a lot of people to play it and buy it in order to make money. And catering to a small minority of your player population is the dumbest thing ever, because you're just going to ruin the game for everyone else, because then those people are going to get pissed and then they're going to leave. And then the game dies for all of us. And then those pros who wanted the game built specifically for them, they don't have a game anyway because everyone else left and the developers closed it because, you know, the higher ups were just like, it's not making money anymore, axe that shit. And I do expect some angry rants about me making this video and giving this opinion, but I don't give a fuck, okay? I believe that the majority of the players should be catered for, because I believe that the majority of players need to be happy for the game to survive. But that was a state of balance, and that was my opinion on it. It is an absolute clusterfuck right now. They need to sort their shit out because it's just too many disconnects between the data, the pros, and the rest of the community. It's just one mess right now. But after the state of balance, they talked about tournaments, which no one cares about basically, and then they talked about a community corner, which once again was fun to watch. But that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. I love reading and replying to all your comments down below. And feel free to check out my Discord and Twitter. There is a link down below in the description box for both of those as well. The Discord is a great way for me to talk to you guys outside the YouTube comments section. And of course, the Twitter is a great way for you guys to get a notification whenever a video is being uploaded, because YouTube is a bit weird sometimes. And if you like this video and you like what I'm doing here on the channel and you want to support the channel further, feel free to check out my Patreon. There'll be a link down below in the description box, and a link will pop up at the end of the video. And if you choose to donate, it is greatly appreciated. And a big shout out to my current patrons whose names you've been seeing in the background. Just wanted to say thank you for your support. It really does mean a lot. And please share this video around, it does help me out a fuck ton. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys.